Okay, good morning, guys. Welcome. Welcome to our Sunday morning yin practice. We're going to start seated this morning. If you want to take something underneath your seat, go right ahead. I'm Christine, for anybody that hasn't met me yet. Thank you so much for being here. Um, so any comfortable seat that works for you. If sitting cross-legged doesn't feel right, then you can take your legs out and sit on your shins, no problem. Sitting up nice and tall, dropping the shoulders back and down, starting to slowly let go of any tension here, and then starting to slowly close the eyes. And just taking notice here of anything going on in your mind, in your body. Just checking in with yourself. Taking notice of any sensations. If there are reoccurring thoughts. Just becoming aware of what's going on for you right now in this moment. And then we're going to take 3 deep cleansing breaths, taking a big breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Taking one more big inhale in, filling the lungs, the rib cage, the back body. Exhale, letting go of any tension, anything you're holding on to. Finding a nice natural rhythm of breath from here. And as you connect to your breath, maybe you find your exhales a little bit longer than your inhales, ever so slightly, starting to adjust the breath to calm the nervous system, slow the mind. Just taking a few moments of quiet, of stillness here in your body. Three more breaths here. Last breath in and exhale out. Slowly, slowly wiggling the fingers, blinking the eyes open. Beautiful. From here, we're going to release the hands down by our side, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Next inhale, we're going to take the arms up, lengthening through the side body, reaching the crown of the head up. As we exhale, bending through the elbows, opening through the chest, and maybe you send that chin up. Open, open. And then from here, inhale, rounding through the spine, opening up through the upper back as you tuck chin to chest. And release. Exhale. Next inhale, same thing. Arms up. Exhale, open chest. Inhale, round spine, tucking chin to chest. And release, taking one more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to round. And release. Really beautiful. From here, bringing the soles of the feet together, we're going to find our butterfly. And before we do so, finding our yin style pose, maybe you just find a little bit of motion here if you need to move through the hips a little bit. Just taking notice of anything you're feeling. And then on your next inhale, we're going to find a long spine, soft shoulders. Exhale, slowly folding over top of your legs. And you're more than welcome to invite in any props here that you'd like. If you have a block and you'd like to rest your forehead on top, maybe you have two blocks and you want to take them underneath your thighs. Please listen to your body, see what's going to feel good for you here. In yin, we are finding a little bit of discomfort in our poses, and this is to help release the connective tissue in the body. But we also don't want to go too far into anything creating injuries. So listening to your body when maybe you need an assist, a prop, even if it's something that I haven't suggested, really listening to your body. Dropping those shoulders down away from the ears even further, finding softness through your face. And connecting to your body as you find your inhales and exhales. Letting them guide you into the pose deeper if that feels right for you. And our intention, our focus for our practice here today is going to be connection. So thinking about how you can connect to yourself and your breath in each pose, and as you move through any spaces, noticing what thoughts are arising, seeing if you can connect back to this moment. Feeling the connection of your sit bones and your mat. Feeling it sink heavier and heavier into the ground. And taking 3 more breaths here. Is there any more space you can sink into? Last breath in and exhale out. When you're ready, starting to slowly roll the spine up. We're going to release the legs. Maybe you take the hands underneath the knees and you choose here. Maybe it feels good to straighten the legs, giving them a shake. Maybe it feels good to find a little windshield wiper of the knees side to side. I really encourage you to listen to your body and take any movement or stillness that feels right for you here. Beautiful. Then from here, we're going to take the right leg out long in front. Left sole of the foot's going to come inside the right inner thigh. If you want to take a block underneath your sit bones to help tilt the pelvis forward, you're more than welcome to. We're going to keep soft here, though, in our yin style. So maybe a little shake through that right leg. Again, inhale, finding that length through the spine, that softness through the shoulders. If you want to take the arms up, you're more than welcome to. Exhale as you slowly start to transition yourself forward. And once you can go no further, I want you to drop the hands down wherever feels most comfortable, dropping the shoulders away from the ears and softening the head and the neck as you send the forehead down towards the right leg. There will be a bit of roundness in the spine here, so feeling that heaviness of the upper body, letting gravity do the work as it pulls you down. Keeping connected to your breath. Sinking in for another few more breaths. Last breath in and exhale out. Slowly rolling the spine up. And from here, we're going to take the right leg and we're going to swing it behind us. We're going to find what's called our deer pose or 90-90. The front leg that's bent, if it's available, you're going to take it out into closer to a 90-degree angle, with a little bit of a flex through that left foot just to help protect the joints in the knee. If you have a block, maybe you take it out towards your left knee. It can be further over to the left, or for a deeper stretch, it can be closer to where your shin lies. So that would be closer to what like a pigeon might be. So your choice. If it feels better for you, taking it just slightly over to the left side, and we're going to slowly start to walk ourselves down. And maybe you take your forehead down onto a prop, or you can simply just stack one fist on top of the other if you don't have a block. Or maybe you can rest your forehead all the way down onto your mat. So whatever feels okay here for you. And again, adjust as you need to, coming closer to your shin for a deeper stretch, or further away to the left for slightly less intense. So find some place to sink into here as you find that deep stretch through your left glute muscle. You can adjust the back leg as much as you need to as well to find a comfortable place to melt into. Really nice. Finding softness in a place that usually gets very tight. The glute muscles are very difficult to stretch and activate. So really just softening in here. Can you find your connection to your body and your breath? Noticing where you feel the stretch in your body. Maybe you can feel it through your lower back, through your inner left thigh. Few more breaths here. Last breath in and exhale out. Slowly starting to walk yourself up, pressing through the palms. You're going to swing both legs around the front of your mat and taking again whatever you need here. Any movement, any stillness, releasing the body in any way that feels good for you. And then we're going to find our hamstring on the left side, so sending the left leg out long in front. Right sole of the foot comes inside the left inner thigh. Again, adjust as you need to, adding in any props if you need. Finding those sit bones, making sure they're nice and rooted, hips facing towards the left toes, and giving that left leg a little shake here, finding that softness that we're looking for in our yin practice. Inhale, finding the length through the spine. Maybe you take the arms up, dropping the shoulders back and down. Exhale, fold, dropping those hands down whenever you can fold no further. Softening the neck as you send the forehead down towards your left leg, opening up through the upper back. Taking a big inhale in, filling the lungs, feeling a bit of lightness. Exhale, seeing if you can sink a little bit deeper. 3 more breaths. Last breath in and exhale out. Slowly rolling the spine up. And then from here, swinging that left leg behind you, adjusting the front leg so it maybe comes more towards 90 degrees. The back leg can be as straight or as bent as feels good for you. Maybe you take your prop down somewhere around the right shin to knee area and slowly starting to fold over, and then adjust as you need to move to the right for slightly less intense of a stretch or over to the left to deepen the stretch. So whatever feels okay here for you. Sinking into that deep stretch through the right glute muscles. Noticing where you can soften into. It's not an overly comfortable stretch, so just trying to breathe through it. Seeing where you can add breath in to find softness. And taking 3 more breaths where you are. Last breath in and exhale out. Slowly, slowly starting to walk yourself up, pressing through the hands, releasing the legs, and just taking what you need here, anything at all. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to make our way over into a wide leg child's pose. So taking ourselves into our tabletop here first. If you want to take any little movements here to start, little sways through the spine, if you're feeling any tension from the forward folds, go right ahead and invite in a bit of movement. Just listening to your body. And then when you're ready, we're going to walk those knees out as wide as feels comfortable. Could be shoulder distance or maybe as wide as your mat. Sending those sit bones back and down, big toes moving towards each other, and then walking those fingertips towards the front of your mat. Forehead can come down either onto your mat or a block or a bolster if you have one. And taking a big breath in here. And exhale, melting yourself down a little bit deeper. Letting go of any tension here. Sinking those sit bones back and down. Feeling the connection of your knees, forehead, palms on your mat. And from here, maybe you start to walk those hands over to the right side of the room as you keep the left sit bone back and down, finding that nice stretch down the left side body. And slowly walking yourself back through center. Maybe you take a breath through center if that feels good for you. And whenever you're ready, walking the hands over to the left side, keeping that right hip back and down as you feel the stretch through your right side body. way back through center. Maybe taking one more breath in and exhale out. From here, slowly starting to make your way back into your tabletop, bringing those knees back underneath hips, and then taking again anything you need here, any movements, any stillness. And then from here, we're going to come down onto the front side of our bodies, and we're going to bring the elbows and the forearms onto the mat. So if it feels okay for you, either taking the elbows underneath the shoulders or maybe a little bit forward, we're going to take the palms onto the ground, making sure that they're nice and rooted and the forearms are parallel to each other. It's just finding a bit of stability here through the arms first. And then if it feels better, you can take the feet out a little bit wider than you have them now. See what that feels like in your body. And then we're going to drop the shoulders away from the ears as we open up through the chest. And we're going to keep relatively neutral through the neck. So maybe you start by taking the gaze towards your knuckles or your fingertips and just releasing through the spine here. If you're not feeling that much of a stretch here, if you'd like to deepen, maybe you try and take the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. See how that feels. If it doesn't feel good for you, you can just place the tops of the feet back down. Maybe you soften the gaze or you close your eyes here. Just breathing into the open chest, into your lower back. Continuing to draw those shoulders away from the ears, shoulder blades moving towards each other. From here, if you'd like to invite in a little bit of movement through the neck, maybe you start by sending the right ear towards the right shoulder, and then you can just draw up the head, finding some circles, just only if it feels good for you. If you're happy where you are, then just stay there. But if you want to invite in a bit of motion, please feel free to. And then circling in the opposite direction. And then finding stillness here. Now you have the option to stay as you are, or we can find our full seal. And this is where we'd have to drop the feet if we have them up. Again, maybe you take them a little bit wide, and then you're going to draw the palms a little bit wider than they are now, and maybe even out a little bit further. You can start out further, and you can always walk the hands in for a deeper stretch if it's available to you. Starting to slowly straighten the arms. And again, adjust as you need to. Same principles though, we're going to draw the shoulders away from the ears, opening up through the collarbone bones. And then we're going to take a soft gaze here to maybe just above the fingertips. So we're not craning the neck back, keeping it relatively neutral here. And we'll take 3 breaths here. Last breath in. And exhale out, slowly coming all the way down. You're going to cross one palm over the other, forehead on top. And you can either just find a simple sway with the hips side to side, or maybe you take the feet up towards the ceiling and sway them side to side. This helps release the lower back. And then dropping the feet down, we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Just melting into the mat, letting everything go, finding softness through your belly, your shoulders, your face. Taking a big breath in and exhale out. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful. From here, we're going to make our way back up into our tabletop. So we're going to take the palms by our rib cage and starting to press yourself up. Before we transition onto our backs, maybe you again invite in some movement here. And then making our way through seated, bringing the legs out front. And taking a bend through the knees, soles of the feet on the mat, taking the palms behind the thighs. As you press the hands into the thighs, you're going to round the spine, rolling yourself down. Bringing the knees into the chest. Maybe you give yourself a little squeeze and a rock on the spine, side to side. Beautiful. From here, we're going to keep the right knee in towards the chest, and we're going to interlace the fingers, placing the palms on the right shin just below the right knee, and then slowly starting to straighten through the left leg, bringing the left leg long onto the mat. Finding a nice long spine here, finding the heaviness of the spine in your mat. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears. And maybe you find some circles with the right ankle as well, if that feels good for you. Just releasing any tension there. And circling in the opposite direction. And then coming back to stillness for 3 more breaths. Last breath in. And exhale out. From here, we're going to release the left palm and place it on our left hip. And then with the right hand as it is, we're going to start to slowly drop the right leg down towards the mat on the right side. And you're going to gently press the right shin in so that the right thigh moves to the outside of your right rib cage. Now, maybe you can drop the upper arm onto the mat, or maybe you place a block there if that feels better. If it's lifted and it feels okay for you, then you can stay as you are, but just make sure that your tailbone isn't lifting. You're nice and rooted into your mat, and you're finding that nice openness through the right inner thigh. And taking one more breath in. And exhale out. From here, we're going to draw that right knee back in towards our chest. And we're going to bend through the left knee. So we're going to send the left sole of the foot onto the mat. Releasing the hands and then sending the right ankle on top of the left thigh, reaching that right knee away from your body, finding our figure four here. Now you can stay as you are if this feels good for you. You find the stretch through that right glute, or you can place a block underneath the left foot or interlace the fingers somewhere along that left leg. So find whichever version of this feels good for you. And if you have the binds behind your left thigh and you want to take the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling, that's another option. If that feels good for you, go right ahead. These are all options, so stick with whatever is calling your name here. Three more breaths here. Last breath in. And exhale out. From here, releasing any bind, any props, releasing the right ankle, taking any little movements here that you need. And then we're going to find a double knee twist down to the left side. So that can be simply with the soles of the feet on the mat. You can drop the knees down. You can bring the legs up into 90 degrees and then drop the knees down. Or you can cross the right leg around the left. So whatever version of this feels good for you. Finding the twist down to the left side as you draw the shoulder blades down. Maybe you take the arms out wide, or you take the left hand on top of your right thigh to anchor your twist. And gaze in the opposite direction of the knees if it feels okay on your neck. Last breath in. And exhale out. Slowly, slowly bringing your spine back to the mat. Taking any little moves or sways here if you need. And then bringing both knees into the chest, giving yourself a little squeeze and a rock on the spine. And then we're going to keep that left knee in. We're going to interlace the fingers, placing the palms on top of the left shin, just below the left knee, lengthening that right leg long on the mat. Softening through the shoulders. And again, feeling that length of the spine on the ground. Taking maybe some circles through that left ankle if you did on the other side. And then circling in the opposite direction. And then finding stillness here for another 3 more breaths. Last breath in. And exhale out. We're going to place the right palm on top of our right hip. And slowly starting to guide that left knee to the left side, drawing that left thigh up towards your left rib cage as maybe you rest the back of the arm on the ground or a block. And feeling that deep stretch through the inner thigh, that compression through the hip joint. And keeping that tailbone rooted. And taking one more breath in. And exhale out. From here, drawing that left knee back into the chest. We're going to bend through the right knee as we send the right sole of the foot on the mat. Releasing the hands, taking the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Reaching the left knee away from you and then finding your version of this. Staying as is, taking a prop underneath the right foot, or you can find the bind with your hands behind the right thigh, in front of the right shin. If you find your hands behind the right thigh, maybe you invite in the sole of the foot moving up towards the ceiling if you did on the other side. 3 more breaths here. Last breath in and exhale out. From here, slowly releasing any bind, any props, taking any movements here if you need. And when you're ready, we're going to find our double knee twist down to the right side, taking preferably the same version that you did on the other side, whether that's dropping the knees down with any props. You can take the knees up 90 degrees, or maybe you cross the left leg over the right, drawing that left shoulder down into the ground. Maybe you take the gaze in the opposite direction of the knees. Three more breaths here. Last breath in and exhale out. Slowly unwinding the spine, bringing yourself back to the mat and taking any last moves, poses, stretches before coming into your final resting pose, your Shavasana. Taking this in any way that feels most comfortable for you. Lying on your back, your front, your side. Maybe you invite in some props here. And just making yourself nice and comfortable. Once you've settled, I'm going to come around with the Sage Stress Release Essential Oil Mist. If you do not want me to spray this above you, just give your hand a little wave now, and I'll make sure to skip past you. Okay. Slowly starting to bring some awareness back into your body, maybe wiggling your fingers or your toes, swaying your head side to side. And maybe inviting in some larger movements, circling through the wrists, the ankles. Or it might feel nice to take your arms overhead, stretching through your feet, taking a big inhale in, big exhale out. Bringing your knees in towards your chest, maybe giving yourself one final little squeeze and rock on the spine, side to side. And then rolling over onto your side, taking a breath or two here just to arrive back into the room. And then gently pressing yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Sitting up nice and tall, taking your hands wherever feels most comfortable, and then closing your eyes. You're just going to think about that intention of connection one more time here, thinking about how you can invite that into the rest of your day or into your week ahead. Connection with yourself, your breath, and maybe to your loved ones. We're going to take a big breath in together, taking an inhale and exhale out the mouth. I'm just going to read to you something that I really resonated with this week that you may also resonate with. Remind yourself that your life can turn out differently than how you thought it would and still be better than you could have ever imagined. And then taking a moment to really honor yourself as you've taken this time out of your day to connect with the present and also connecting your breath to some movements. I would just like to personally thank each of you for taking the time to share your space, your practice, and your energy with me this morning. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.